Trench with VastSolutionsGroup.com. We are entering the Vast Vault. Specifically, we get to talk to Scott Brazdo. You're going to learn about Scott. He's a very interesting dude, man. He's got a very interesting background. He's an entrepreneur, to say the least, and he's a Dave Matthews Band fan, by the way. So we're going to have some fun talking to him. Scott, good to have you here, man.
Thank you for having me, sir. Appreciate it.
Why don't we go ahead and start from the beginning? You were born. No, tell me a little bit about your background, because it's so varied. I think it's going to be pretty fun for people to hear about it.
Yeah, so my background entrepreneurialism really started around 14 years old for me. I have a passion for cars. And so when I was a kid, my dad, I was like, Dad, I really want a car. He's like, that's awesome. You should get a job. And at 14, legally, no one can hire you. And so he's like, hey, you love detailing cars. Why don't you start a detailing business? So I passed out a couple hundred flyers to neighbors and passed around. Didn't get one call for like 30 days. And finally, one of my mom's friends in the neighborhood called me. It was like, hey, come clean my minivan. And I was like, yes. And I think I charged $35 and I spent 9 hours cleaning the gnarliest kid's minivan. She had like 4 kids and there was spilled milk everywhere. And the thing was just disgusting. But I was hooked because I got my first sale. And from there, word of mouth started spreading and I started getting more and more jobs and ended up having a rather successful detailing business as a young man. Had a celebrity client named Cecil Fielder, used to detail all of his cars. So he had, he had a collection of like 27 cars. And so I was taking care of his Ferraris and Bentleys and classic muscle cars and stuff like that. He lived in my neighborhood where I grew up in Melbourne, Florida. And so that was a pretty cool start for me into entrepreneurialism. But more importantly, that's when I kind of fell in love with marketing. And so, I loved that you passed out a flyer, you did some work, you talked to some people, and it created a reaction out of people. So from there, ended up going to college, got my BBA in marketing from Stetson University. And, my story is kind of strangely intertwined. But right before graduating college, I entered a battle of the bands. I was in a band. I play guitar and sing. And my band ended up winning this battle of the bands called In the Spotlight. It was with XL 1067 and House of Blues and Wright Entertainment Group, who's Johnny Wright, who managed at the time NSYNC and Britney Spears, and he was looking for a rock and roll band. So we ended up winning this whole thing. And then this was also about a month before I graduated from college. So all of a sudden I'm graduating college and I'm presented with this opportunity to go on tour. And we were going to get to open for Avril Lavigne. And Joey Fatone from NSYNC was paying for and producing our music video. And things were kind of taking off. So I went on to be a full-time touring musician, got to travel all around the U.S. for many, many years and put out quite a few albums on iTunes. And then our music was kind of like if you took Dave Matthews Band, John Mayer, and Maroon 5 and threw them in a blender. And that was kind of our vibe. So I actually had a full-time electric violinist, got him sponsored by Zeta Violins, which was super cool. So he actually had the Boyd Tinsley edition Zeta violin signed by Boyd himself. And so that was a super cool moment. And I was sponsored by Taylor Guitars for many years, which was great. And so I really enjoyed music. And then kind of after music wore off after a few years, I went back to school, ended up getting my MBA in marketing and kind of started working my way up the corporate ladder in marketing director, VP of marketing type roles. And then eventually ended up starting my own marketing agency in 2010 called Black Tie Digital Marketing. So we've been in business now 14 years, have over 300 clients throughout the country. And we specialize in aerospace and defense marketing, which is pretty cool. And so the agency, we have about 10 full-time employees, 2 offices in Melbourne and in Orlando. And also a few years ago started a real estate company called Marketing Moves Homes that I help sell and market high-end homes here in the Central Florida area. So it's been a lot of fun, a lot of diversification throughout my my tenure here. And but the common denominator is music, marketing, passion, and doing what you love. And the great thing's been I've always done what I've loved and always been able to have success because of that. So as as long as I continue to do things that I enjoyed, I continue to have success. So that path has served me well.
And if you're doing something you love, you're not working, right?
That is correct. It really just feels like fun when you know you're doing something right when you're actually supposed to be working and you're actually just having fun. You're enjoying what you do, and so I've really just tried to follow that mantra and that path of doing what you enjoy and following your passions, following your heart, and it's served me really well in my life.
Yeah, I got it, man. There's so many directions we could go with your deal. It's incredible. So marketing. Let's talk a little bit about marketing. So what do you see out in the market? By the way, we're going to spend, if it's okay, another 20 minutes chatting. What do you see in the marketing world for entrepreneurs? What are some things to be doing right now? What are things to stay away from? Maybe a good social media spot. I don't know. I'm just leaving it open ended to you in that regard.
That's a great question. The world of marketing is always changing, but the interesting thing is attraction is changing, and the way that people are being attracted and the way businesses are attracting is evolving and changing through social media. But more importantly, as businesses continue to evolve, and now we have AI being introduced and ChatGPT and all of these different tools that are really enabling a lot of people to do more with less, which is pretty phenomenal in businesses. The key is just what I've learned is the riches are in the niches. So what I mean by that is don't try to be everything to everyone. When we first started Black Tie, if you had a pulse and a dollar, we were helping you. If you were a dentist or a plumber or a restaurant, we didn't care. If you needed help with marketing, we were helping you. Everyone kept saying, you got to niche down. You got to niche down. And I said, that's silly. It's silly to niche down because we can help anyone. While that is true, if your messaging is structured in a way that you can help anyone, you are nothing to everyone rather than being something to someone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the way that I would give that example is, if someone comes to Black Tie and they say, and it says aerospace and defense marketing agency, if you're an aerospace and defense company, you're going to go, I didn't know this existed. This is phenomenal. Yes, I work at SpaceX, or I work at Lockheed, or I work at L3 Harris. And wow, this is exactly what we need versus, oh, they help dentists and they help Joe the plumber and they help this. We've obviously become very sophisticated now, and we have multi-billion-dollar clients. And as we've continued to grow in the space, but to be something to someone, to try to niche down to where the best marketing, what I have found is the best marketing when someone sees it, they go, wow, it's like he's talking directly to me. Mm-hmm. So, in the example of, Vast Solutions Groups, for example, a great thing would be, are you a business owner who's looking to really maximize your tax returns and limit your liability in taxes and to be able to get the most write-offs possible? Would it be great to have an accounting firm who can help you maximize those, blah, 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 and talking to it? That's talking directly to your customer. And your potential customer is going to go, wow, it's like he's talking directly to me, rather than saying, do you want to save money on taxes? It's not as enticing. Are you a business owner who's looking to help maximize your, minimize your tax liability to the government, those kind of things? It's so again, the riches are in the niches. So the organizations that find a way to really hone in on who their potential customer is and then speak directly to them. So the way we do that is we have a unique process called our branding DNA architecture that all of our clients go through. And what the branding DNA says is we learn who they are, where they've been, and where they want to go tomorrow. So before engaging with our agency, you have to go through this process. And a part of this process is we're going to come up with your why. So Simon Sinek says people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So the example of that, a great example would be Apple. So Kenner, I think you have an iPhone, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
Okay. So I'm an Apple guy, we're an Apple Watch, iPhone, iPads, all that kind of fun stuff. So if you use the company of Apple, and so there's three things. There's why, there's how, and then there's what. So if most traditional marketing messages start with what, go to how, and end with why. So what that would sound like was this. Here at Apple, we build great computers. How we do that is through cutting edge technology and beautiful design. Do you want to buy one? Okay, it's fine. It's a meh marketing message, right?
Mhm.
But the great and the talented organizations in the world start with why. So Apple really reinvented that by starting with why. So here's what that message sounds like. We believe in thinking differently. We believe in challenging the status quo. How we do that is through cutting edge technology and beautiful design. By the way, we also make great computers. Do you want to
Mm.
buy one? When people can connect with you on that why level, it uses a different part of your brain called the limbic brain. So there's the neocortex, which is the analytical part of your brain. So that's product features, benefits, values, right? So you can delineate between crazy amounts of features and benefits. But
Mhm.
the limbic brain is the part of your brain that goes, you know what, Kenner, I have a gut feeling about that. I have a gut feeling that's the guy I want to go with. That's the company I want to use. And when you can connect with people on a limbic level, it disconnects the neocortex completely, and logic goes out the window, and it becomes an emotional decision. And that's the way that you disrupt the buying process is people want to do business with people who believe what they believe. Okay? So what I mean by that is at Black Tie, our why is we exist to inspire the world to dream bigger. Well, business owners that come to our website and look at that and they go, hey, I dream big. I have huge dreams for my company. And I want my company to be so big that I have to have a cafeteria and a daycare for my employees' kids. And they start going.
Mhm.
They've connected on a limbic level, on a why level. And while they may be searching for agencies, when they connect with us and they understand and they believe what we believe, they say, that's the company I want to work with. I want to work with them. So that's really what we found in marketing. And then after we do the why, we come up with unique buyer personas, right? So what that is,
Advertising me,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah. So think about if I were to say, okay, my ideal customer is an aerospace and defense marketing director that that works for an aerospace defense company. That's not a very narrow thing. No, we're going to say this is a 45-year-old woman who is a VP of marketing level. She makes $150,000 a year. She has 2 kids. She lives in the suburbs, and she's the decision maker for an aerospace and defense marketing company. She has this core values. She has this level of education. And once you create these 4 to 5 different buyer personas for the client or for the company, then you can start being a real sniper with your marketing tactics to where you can have individual marketing plans to reach each of those buyer personas. Too
Mm-hmm.
many companies, when they try to do their marketing, they're just trying to take a shotgun approach and splat everything against the wall and hope something hits,
Mm.
versus to actually pick out your ideal customer, know who they are, and write killer messaging that connects to them on that limbic level where it disconnects the neocortex to get them to make an emotional decision to move forward with your company because they believe what you believe. And that's really a key that we've seen with marketing in the modern age.
Dude, you're taking it to the next level. This is the first I've heard of all this stuff. I didn't know that. That's why you're
Yeah,
doing so
it's
well. You know what I mean? You are literally taking it to the next level.
we're having a lot of fun with it, man, and it continues to evolve as we continue to learn and grow. Every DNA gets different. Everyone evolves. Everyone grows. We start to learn what's valuable to organizations, what's not. And the interesting thing is, we usually end up doing a mission statement workshop with a client where we address their mission statement. And the funny thing is, most mission statements are heavy on statement and light on mission. So we encourage them to actually come up with a mission statement that starts with why. So our Black Tie mission statement is we believe in helping businesses grow utilizing cutting edge digital marketing strategies and having fun while doing it. We also want to be excellent in all things we do so that our work glorifies God. That is the mission statement of our company. And a great mission statement will become an arbiter for your organization that as you grow, as things happen, you can just look at your mission statement and let's say an employee does something really boneheaded, right? So
Mhm.
they do something really stupid. And every employee that starts working at Black Tie, they sign a mission statement form that says, this is the mission statement of Black Tie. These are our core values. This is what we believe. And you're going to do your best as an employee of our company to uphold those values and our mission, right? And everybody signs that. So if all of a sudden they do something real boneheaded, maybe they steal from an employee, from the company, right? They steal from the company. And you sit them down and I go, Kenner, what went wrong here? Where in the mission did we maybe fail here? And we say, well, that probably isn't being excellent, right? Trying to steal from the company, and it's definitely not fun for you that I stole from the company. And we also want to be excellent in all the things we do, so our work glorify God. That definitely didn't glorify God. That wasn't a really great thing. And so we let them talk, and then we say, great, thanks so much, for sharing. And then we get to take an opportunity to say, hey, we're going to make you available to the marketplace. Congratulations. You're now available to the marketplace for looking for a new job. Or we show them grace and love, and we, coach them through it and work through it. So that's just an example. That's never happened, but that's an example of how having a strong mission statement and a why can really help you kind of focus your mission and throughout your organization, not just up top.
Obviously, it leads to bigger things. I like that statement about a lot of companies are big on statement, but short on mission. I think that makes a lot of sense. That example, it's a very good example. I think that shows that how much you guys are thinking, ahead of the marketplace. That makes a lot of sense what you're saying. Hearing everything you've said so far makes a lot of sense. Actually, blows me away that you're taking it so much higher than I expected as far as the next level. Wow, there's so many different ways we could go about that. So wait a minute. So do you only deal with big companies? Because you're saying aerospace engineer. I mean, you're talking about big companies, it sounds like, or do you guys work with smaller companies?
So realistically, our ideal brand would be an organization doing anywhere from around 5 million to 30 million in annual revenue. That's really an ideal size. The reason I say that is you have to say, okay, if you're a $5 million company, you should be spending anywhere, in order to maintain growth, this is MBA 101, you should be spending between 5 and 10% of your annual revenue on marketing and advertising, right? So if you're doing 5 million a year, you should have, anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 budget for marketing. So when you have $250,000 to $500,000 budget, you should be able to be spending $5,000 to $10,000 a month with an agency like ours on retainer to be your outsourced marketing partner to handle web development, graphic design, social media marketing, inbound marketing, email marketing, all of those different things, SEM, SEO, all of those services that we offer. So we've also learned that when you're above a $50 million organization, it starts to become a really big boat, right? So think of it like a cruise ship. Like if a cruise ship, you're cruising along and I go, Kenner, can you make a left and head towards the Bahamas? Yeah, sure. 4 hours later, right? Like the slowest turn on the planet. Versus if you're a speedboat, hey, Kenner, make a left to the Bahamas, pew, immediate, right? So we've kind of learned that like $5 to $25 million company is really an ideal size. That not only that, but when we're working with $1 billion brand, it's typically incremental increases, right? So we help them get from here to there. I like to be a part of organizations that are kind of young and scrappy, and I can double them and triple them and quadruple them. That's where I really get excited when we can be a part of their success story and a part of having a part of a mission that, okay, hey, we actually were able to make a difference in this organization. Wow, we took the revenue from 10 million to 30 million in 2 years. Look at what that did. So that's a little more exciting to me versus the big brands are great because they have larger budgets and things. It's just usually not as exciting just because they're not as scrappy and not as mobile.
I understand. So then as an example, obviously you must know what you're doing because you're working with bigger companies, right? So what about, let's say someone has let's say someone's grossing $1 million and let's say they're a real estate agent. As an example, they're grossing $1 million. So if I heard you right, you're suggesting putting 5 to 10% into a marketing budget. Does that sound about right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay. So I have a kind of a really naive question. All right, you're a real estate agent, as you said, obviously in the luxury side. Can you mention your brokerage or no?
Yeah, I'm with EXP Luxury. Yep.
Got it. EXP Luxury. So as an example, I mean, I know you're busy with all the stuff you have going on in marketing. If people want to be an agent at EXP, I assume they can call you?
Absolutely, yeah. So EXP has been a really great brokerage for that reason that it's kind of built to help grow other agents and to help kind of create a relationship of family with other agents. But in regards to being, $1 million a year agent, what I see with real estate, and the reason I went into real estate is because so many realtors have reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'd love some help with my marketing." And I go,
Right. That's
"Oh,
what I was.
absolutely, I can help you with that." They have no budgets. Why? Because they typically don't run their business like a business. My mentor in real estate is a good friend of yours, Christian Bear, and he helped me to understand the way to run a real estate business successfully. And if you get a say a $10,000 commission, right? So just for easy numbers, a third of that needs to go into a tax account. That when Uncle Sam comes knocking, you've got money available to pay your taxes. The other third of that needs to go towards expenses and marketing, so that when you have an opportunity to take out some ads or do some branding or build a badass website, whatever it may be, you actually have the money to do it. And then the other third you can take home. So if it's a $10,000 paycheck, most agents are taking 10 grand and putting it in their account. And all of a sudden their CPA calls them and goes, "Hey dude, you owe the government a $250,000. What? I don't have a $250,000. And they end up getting themselves in a lot of trouble.
Mhm.
So to start running the business, to actually treat your real estate business like a business, to actually have marketing and advertising dollars. And every single listing that our team that we've taken, we've sold in one day. And it's kind of, I'm sure that's not going to last forever, of course, but every listing that we have sold is sold in one day. And the reason we've done that is we do, super high end photography. We have a photographer come in with flashes, and he flashes from 5, 6 different locations, and then he composites the pictures into one to really give a nice even light in the room. And we do 3D Matterport that is, high end full 3D tours that people either in VR or in non-VR can walk through the house and look up, down, left, right, and actually like you're in the home. I do video tours via my YouTube channel. I do unbranded tours for the MLS. I make it so you could be anywhere in the world, and with confidence, you could buy that house knowing, wow, I know every nook and cranny. I sold last year, I sold a $1.6 million house to my client who had never seen it in person. The first day they saw it was the final walkthrough on closing day. And when they walked in, I was like, "So what do you think?" And they said, "It's exactly like the video. It's exactly like the 3D tour. It's exactly like you said it was." And they were like, "We felt like we've already been here a bunch of times." So to be able to create that environment for people with utilizing technology, now it's not cheap. When I have a listing, I'm spending a lot of money on my photography, my 3D Matterports, my branding, my signage, my open houses. On open houses, always cookies, always champagne mimosas, always making people feel welcome, giving them space when they get inside the place. Don't hound them and act desperate. "Hey, I'm here to answer questions if you guys have any, but thanks so much for stopping by. And oh, by the way, can I get your cell phone number? I'm going to send you a copy of this video that I just did on this property, so you can send it to your buyers and see what they think." And they go, "Oh, wow, yeah, that's actually really helpful." Well, that usually opens up a text conversation where now they're texting me asking more questions. And then it kind of goes from there. So just taking, again, that marketing aspect into real estate. And that's why my real estate company is called Marketing Moves Homes, because that's what we do. We were like, really great marketing will help move homes. So I really specialize in listing and selling homes, and which has just been a lot of fun to do. And it started just because I was an investor. I was buying a bunch of real estate, and the pandemic hit, and I was like, "Man, I need a backup plan. Like, what happens if black tie doesn't do well or the world falls apart? I need a backup plan." So I went and got my license, and we started Marketing Moves Homes. And it's been 4 years in, and been a lot of fun and a lot of success. And like I said, I don't feel like I've ever worked a day. It's just a lot of fun to be doing the real estate and working with our clients. So just continuing it. And I built Marketing Moves Homes, realistically. So my wife, who is a vice president of a large company, when that company eventually one day ends up selling, that she has a place to go work in one of our brands, in one of our companies. So she's not doing the real estate now; it's solely me. But one day, if that company ends up selling, that she'll come in and join me in it. So that's kind of the reason we've done it, which is it's been a lot of fun to build that company through time.
Yeah, it seems like a natural progression to go from, marketing to real estate. See, I mean, especially the way you do it, your approach, I think, is pretty unique. And, speaking of marketing, it seems to me that the best people to market to are your own existing clients. And I think a lot of real estate, we have over 2,000 real estate agents in our database, and we have a lot of clients for real estate agents. I don't understand why they don't market to themselves versus trying to go out and spend money on new dollars. Great. You have to spend money on marketing of getting new people, but there's a lot of people, I think, who miss the boat and don't spend money on their already existing relationships and clients. What are your thoughts about that?
For sure, nurturing your current customers is probably one of the most important things, and sometimes it just sparks a conversation, whether it's seeing a new property that you think a client might want to invest in, or following up and sending them a gift. Hey, happy 1 year anniversary on purchasing your new home, or getting them a really nice closing gift that is thoughtful and generous. Those are kind of things that will help you stand out with it. But too many agents. But it's difficult. It's easy to pay Zillow or Realtor.com and just get some leads and have a fresh person in front of you. But there's so much gold sitting in our email boxes, or just following up once a quarter. Calling, hey, Kenner, how are you? Hey, how's that house working out? Hey, did you need any vendors, any contractors, anything I can help you with? Oh, you do? Okay. Hey, I'm going to send you a list of my contractors that I use. This one's really great. He'll give you a great quote. Just tell him I sent you. Awesome. Oh, hey, Scott, by the way, my cousin is looking to move down here. I was just thinking about it. Let me give you her number and see if you can help her find a house. Oh, that'd be great, man. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then it goes from there. I ended up getting a lead recently that I ended up selling their house and helping them buy a new house. And it was just a friend of my daughter from school. And as she sees all my social posts that I'm posting online and all the activity that we're doing and these different things, and she referred a friend to me. They called me and ended up selling their house in one day. And then the very next day, finding them their next house in one weekend, sold a house and bought a house for them. And that was just from social media and from making that connection.
Yeah, you're a good guy. I love talking to you, man. We have to kind of land this plane. Sadly, I wish we could go talking all day because you're such an interesting guy. So let's say as an entrepreneur, maybe in the marketing space or as a realtor, what's one thing we didn't go over that you'd like to kind of convey to some of the people out there who are, again, new all the way to old entrepreneurs in the marketing space, all the way to real estate? And kind of just give a general thought on something we didn't go over that you think you can add some value on.
Something that you will hear me say in my organizations a lot is two. One is focus and finish. And you'll hear me say project done is better than project none. Okay. And those two things, as an entrepreneur, marketing especially, becomes very overwhelming because there's so much you can be doing. There's so much you can be doing.
I agree with
And
that.
even the most world-class organizations, there's always more you could be doing. Oh, are you doing, ad spend in this? Are you doing retargeting campaigns? Are you doing geofencing? There's always something more you can be doing. No one is doing everything and doing it well, even myself included. So to be able to just pick something and do it, don't make it perfect. The best example I can give you of this is if you want to do video for your business, if you have an iPhone, if you have one of these things, you can do video. If you have a cell phone, do it. Let your production value suck. Let it be terrible, but let the target actually hit and learn from it. And then as you learn and you gain a customer, let that customer that you just gained pay for you to then have proof of concept to say, hey, I think I'm going to hire a marketing agency to help me with video production to take this over. But project done is better than project none. Focus on one thing and just do it. Even if you do it miserably, just do it, because I promise you will learn from that. And then whatever you learn, you can take to the next time you do it and do it successfully. And then focus and finish. When you start a project, focus and finish it. I tell my employees, I would rather you focus on one thing today out of the 10 you have to do. And at the end of the day, you say, Scott, I focused on this one thing and I finished it. So project 1 out of 10 is done, but these other 9 didn't get touched. I'd rather that than, hey, Scott, I worked on 5 of the 10 projects. Oh, great. Which one did you finish? I didn't get to any of them. I didn't finish any of them today. Project done is better than project none. Focus and finish. So that's the biggest thing. Just go do something. Go out there and do something. Try it, fail miserably, learn from it, and then do it better the next time. And if you continue that mantra, you'd be amazed at the success you'll have moving forward.
Holy, when I said time for us to land this plane, you landed it perfectly on three wheels. Wow. Wow. How about in closing, let's say someone wants to get a hold of you for either marketing or maybe to sell or buy their house or whatever. How does someone get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can, for marketing stuff, just scott@blacktidedigital.com. And as far as, anything else, you can always reach me through there no matter what it may be. So scott@blacktidedigital.com is my email. If you want some free advice, or, hey, Scott, interested in, I don't know a lot about this, or, hey, we have a marketing agency, they're doing this. I'm always here to give advice. So even if it's just like, hey, man, could you take a look at this? Let me know what you think. I'll always, be happy to give you my ideas, my thoughts, and go from there. So no sales or, trying to steal you from anyone, nothing like that. Just, hey, if you're looking for a friend to take a look at something, I'm always happy to do that. And if you need some advice, always here.
Yeah, I can vouch for you. You're one of my favorite. You are a good guy. I guess time to close this. I want to say thank you very much to everyone, specifically to you. I really appreciate you taking the time, and actually everyone who's been listening to this or watching it. Either way, I really appreciate your time. If you need anything, you can go to vastsolutionsgroup.com. We really, really appreciate you listening to this. Hopefully it's been as much fun as I've had. Thanks. Wow, dude, that was very, very, you're the man, dude.